Explore your world. It's the Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show, presented by BluePlanetVacations.com. Call or text the show now, 801-649-3700, 801-649-3700. And check out the podcast at InsideTravelTalk.com. And now, here are your hosts, Patrick Wiscombe and Mark Faldmo.
Live from Salt Lake City, Utah, this is the Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show. Hello there, I am Patrick Wiscombe, the vacation nerd. The entire purpose of this travel podcast is to share with our listeners the latest travel and cruise deals designed to help you save time and money. And we're also going to help you plan and book your next vacation. So we want you to consider this show your must-listen, personal, daily travel briefing if you travel, or if you've just always wanted to start traveling. We are the right place to be. And this show is presented by my friend's company, proudly presented by BluePlanetVacations.com. Mark Faldmo returns from, well, Palm Springs was last week. This week, it is the great state of Idaho. You had a late night
really
last
exotic.
night. As you're traveling, assuming that you drove on this one, do you ever stop, I don't know, like in Logan, or I'm not even sure if that's the right way to go, to get Gostner's milk and cheese curds while you're on the way?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Just lots of stops at Mavericks because they're everywhere now.
Maverick, man, they are en fuego right now. They're just popping up everywhere like 7-Eleven used to be.
Yeah.
Coming up in this first segment of the show, we will get to the most important travel news and the biggest travel deals we have found so far today, like travel deals to Hawaii. We found an underwater museum in Miami, custom private tours. This is worldwide. This is an interesting idea if you want to go and have some direction on how to get around. We also have the hot and the hotter travel deals of the week. Traveling to China, MSC has opened another private island, the cruise deal of the week, and a vacation this or that European edition. But let's start with the travel news. Is it Reefline?
Yes, Reefline.
Okay, Reefline is a brand new place that just opened, or at least phase one of it opened in Miami. How about if we tell our listeners about it if they're headed to Miami?
If you're going there a few days early for a cruise, something you could do if you like to snorkel or scuba dive. So it's an underwater sculpture park. There's a really big one of these in Cancun, but this one envisions to be even bigger. Right now, they've just opened up the first section of it, but it's envisioned to be a 7-mile underwater sculpture park. So snorkel trail, hybrid reef, all of the sculptures are meant to eventually become coral reefs and, help provide habitat for coral and for fish. The first section that's opened is called the Underwater Traffic Jam, and it's all cars. So all the sculptures are cars.
If you've ever been to downtown Miami, that's all it is right now. You take the I-95 and then just getting into downtown Miami is crazy.
Miami just keeps growing and growing. Every time I go there, there's a new skyscraper built or something. So
Delta is expanding service to Japan with a new Seattle to Tokyo route.
This is actually a different airport than they're currently flying into.
Oh.
So this new flight is into Narita Airport in Tokyo, and they currently have flights into Haneda Airport. Delta also operates flights from Atlanta, Detroit, Minneapolis, Los Angeles, and Honolulu to Haneda Airport, but now they're starting the Seattle to Narita Airport. Japan is becoming one of the top trending destinations. That's why they're doing it. When Delta and Northwest merged, Northwest Airlines had a hub in Narita Airport, and they kind of closed that up. So, it'll be interesting to see, because Northwest was a big operator to Asia, Southeast Asia, through that hub in Narita, but Delta closed that hub down. So we'll see if anything like that comes back in the future.
there is a custom private tour group. Is it called Tours by Locals?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite companies to work with, Tours by Locals. They do custom tours. And so how it normally works is I'll go in and find a guide, and they might have several different itineraries or things that they offer, and then we book it. But it's a completely private tour for 1 to 8 people generally. They've introduced this new kind of tour type called Essentials. And so this is one where you just choose the essential tour. You don't get to choose the guide, like I mentioned, but you get to choose the essentials of the city, and then your guide will be assigned to you later. But what I like about working with this company, I just had a client get off a cruise in the Amsterdam area, and we did a day trip, and we booked to the windmills, some things for them to see. But when they met up with the guide said, "What do you want to do today?"
Oh, really?
And they said, "We want to go where no tourists go." And so they didn't even do the itinerary that we set up. They went to a little place where tourists don't go, but it's where most of the passengers on the Mayflower were from, just this little village. They had a great tour and said it was one of the best tours they've ever taken. But that's what I like about it. They're custom. You can choose a set tour, or when you get the driver, you can just say, "Do something unique for me." They're all usually local people. They know the area well. So if you're looking for something unique to do all around the world, you can contact Blue Planet Vacations, and we can get you set up with one of these private guides for just your group. Next week, I have someone going to Normandy, and they're big Band of Brothers fans. And so I contacted a guide that's from Bayeux in France, lived there all of her life. I said, they want to do a Band of Brothers tour. So she created a custom Band of Brothers tour just for this couple.
Oh, see, that is awesome.
That's a really good thing to do to make unique vacations.
It is time for the Hot Travel Deal of the Week, and the Hot Travel Deal of the Week is presented by Airwolf HVAC. You get the tie in there?
Yep.
Is your house too hot or too cold? Well, right now it's just too hot. Airwolf HVAC will take care of the problem. For heating and cooling done right, trust Airwolf HVAC here in Utah. Call Jason, and he actually answers the phone, unlike the other HVAC companies. Call Jason, 801-735-3293, 801-735-3293, or you can schedule online at airwolf.com, and that's AIRE wolf.com. It's time for the Hot Travel Deal of the Week, which is...
We're going to go to Puerto Vallarta, and we're going to go specifically to one of my favorite hotels, the Villa Premier Boutique Hotel in Puerto Vallarta. So right now, if you book an air and hotel vacation and pay in full by August 27th. So you have a week or so here to do that. You can save up to $550 on your vacation. Okay. And this is for travel anytime in 2027.
Buy now, travel in 2027.
Correct.
But save up to $550 when you pay in full at the time of reservation.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about the hotel then.
This, again, is one of my favorite hotels. It's an adults-only beachfront resort. But what I like about it, it only has 80 rooms. They're all ocean view rooms and suites. It's been a AAA 4-diamond hotel for about 20 consecutive years. So that's saying a lot, especially for a hotel to be on that list for 20 consecutive years.
Yeah, that means they take care of the property.
One thing, its location is a major advantage. It's the closest hotel. Well, actually, it's the second closest hotel to downtown. Their other hotel that they own is right next door. It's a little bit closer, but its location right near downtown is one of its greatest benefits. You know, you can walk down to the Malecon, which I love to do in the evening around sunset. Another thing is their personalized wellness and dining program. You get a welcome massage when you arrive. I know Heather enjoyed that. When you're checking in, the masseuse comes up and gives you a shoulder and back rub while you're checking into the hotel. They have a large pillow menu, aromatherapy. So it's just one of the perfect hotels to visit in Puerto Vallarta.
How many rooms? Is it 80
rooms.
Wow.
Yep.
All ocean
Only
view.
80 rooms, all ocean view. Yeah. And great food. Very good food as well.
Always in this opening segment of the show, we also have the destination spotlight. And a little bit earlier this week, was this a call or a text from Jack?
This was a call.
Okay. So he called you in the office. Jack was asking, we've already traveled to Japan. Well, that's good. And loved it. We're thinking about going back to Asia, but what about China? Is China a good destination for American travelers right now? And what would be the best way to see it? I'm going to say, yeah, I think so.
We're starting to get more and more requests for China. It has been a while since we've received those requests. I personally have been to China 4 times.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Loved all 4 trips. We used to operate some shorter week-long programs to China, and then we added some Yangtze River cruises. I've done all of that, and again, loved it. The culture, the history is just fascinating to see over there. But it has been several years since anyone's considered traveling to China. China is probably the next destination to watch. They have great prices right now. They're trying to attract tourism back to China, but it has ancient history, huge modern cities, distinctive regional cultures. That's one of the things I like is the food. And you travel around and you get different food everywhere in China. Another important point is China is something I would not recommend you do on your own. Do it as part of a structured program. You can do just a short Beijing. You can do one that moves around the country. One I like is Beijing with the Great Wall, Xi'an with the Terracotta Warriors, and Shanghai for that modern China. And you can do it with a Yangtze River cruise. Last week I talked about I went to GTM, which is Global Travel Marketplace, where we learn about suppliers.
Mm-hmm.
One of those suppliers is called Century Cruise Line. And they do Yangtze River cruises, but they also package together all of these land programs. That's how I would do China. Century Cruise Lines is actually kind of interesting because Viking Waterways, Ama Waterways used to all do China, the Yangtze River, but that's one destination where they didn't own their ships. Century Cruise Lines operated Viking and Ama Waterways Yangtze River cruises. And so with those cruise lines not coming back, they have 7 ships and they needed something to do. So they decided they're just going to market their own cruises. So through Century Cruise Lines, Blue Planet Vacations, we can do a whole 10, 11 night Yangtze experience that includes most fascinating parts of China and the Yangtze River cruise.
Also, a little bit earlier this week, we received was this a text? Yeah, from James.
This was a text.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. From James, he's asking, we're planning our first trip to Hawaii. Well, first of all, well done. You're going to love it. But we're overwhelmed trying to choose an island. If you could give a quick description of the 4 main islands, how would you decide which island is right for us? That's a pretty easy question to answer. I would probably start with Oahu. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's best for the first-time visitors. You get Waikiki, Pearl Harbor, Polynesian Cultural Center, great restaurants, shopping, nightlife. You can go to the other side of the island, get great beaches and scenery. So Oahu has a little bit of everything.
Yeah, the North Shore, don't forget that. That is awesome.
It is, yeah.
My second choice would probably be Maui.
Maui, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the best island for a combination of a resort stay and sightseeing. Great beaches, some good sightseeing, the road to Hana. Maui is great for couples, honeymooners, kind of wanting an upscale, relaxed vacation.
Ooh, that's a good, upscale. Yep, that's right.
And then, we didn't even mention Haleakala, go up to the volcano and see the moonscape up there. So Maui is probably it's not the most visited, but it's probably the most requested island that I get.
That's a great description. My personal choice would be Maui and then Oahu, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, the other 2 islands, just quickly, Kauai, best for scenery and nature. Go around the Nepali coast and see the giant cliffs, has dramatic waterfalls. So it's known for its natural beauty and it's probably the quietest island of all of the islands.
Yep.
And has the best hot dog shop in the world, Puka Dog. So, so I just have to get that in every time we talk about Kauai, because, you know, get some of their coconut mango relish and a hot dog.
Oh,
it is great.
I'm going to guess that the Big Island's your last choice.
Yeah, Big Island, which is now Hawaii Island. They're trying to move. They're trying to move away from the Big Island, and it's just the island of Hawaii, or Hawaii Island.
When did they do that? That feels like a recent thing.
A few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
There was a release on that, so I still call it the Big Island because Hawaii Island just confuses the whole thing because it's all Hawaii. But it's best for adventure and diversity. We've got Volcano National Parks. Again, some pretty amazing waterfalls. So it's great for people that want to explore, but also don't mind driving around. A few years back, probably on the first 3 or 4 episodes of the podcast, we did my one day on Hawaii, what I would do.
Yeah.
You know, it's a full about 16-hour day, but drive all around the island. Maybe we'll have to redo that segment in a future show, because it's a great tour.
We mail it in one week. Let's just play this one.
Yeah. The one thing, as I say, wouldn't ask which Hawaiian island is best. I'd ask which Hawaiian island is best for the vacation I want, because all the islands offer a slightly different vacation from each other.
Oahu by far is the most commercial. And by the way, it is spectacular. I don't want to knock it. It is absolutely spectacular. You wouldn't think that the islands of Hawaii would be that different, but they really are.
They are.
Yeah. Could we save James some money by going to Hawaii? I'm assuming we can.
Yes. Yeah, we can. You know, that same offer that we talked about in Puerto Vallarta for the Villa Premier is also good for Hawaii. So again, save up to $550 when you pay in full for a 2027 vacation and book by August 27th.
Okay. So you have basically a week to take advantage of the $550 off. Have I got that right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So let me just recap everything. So we've got the Puerto Vallarta for $550 for the 2027 vacations. Pay in full now, travel anytime in 2027, if I've got that right. And we've also got the save up to $550 when you pay in full for a vacation going to Hawaii in 2027, but both vacations have to be booked by August 27th. Did I recap that right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Take advantage of it. You will never ever go wrong going to Hawaii. Never. You can't have a bad vacation. If you do, it's on you. Call Mark in the office. Take advantage of the offer. 888-718-7717. 888-718-7717. And he will also post this on the website blueplanetvacations.com. When we come back, it is time for the Just Cruising segment, the segment of the show that has made us famous around the country and around the world. We'll be talking about Princess already releasing their 2028 season Alaska package. We've got Royal Caribbean news. They're also doing something with their 2027-2028 season. And we'll talk about MSC opening another island. That is next when the Inside Travel Talk podcast or radio show continues, alongside my good friend Mark Faldmo, owner of BluePlanetVacations.com. My name is Patrick Wiscombe. Thank you so much for listening. We will be right back. Give us about 60 seconds.
Taking you to destinations around the world. The Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show is presented by BluePlanetVacations.com, America's best travel advisors. Call or text the show now. 801-649-3700. 801-649-3700. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back.
Inside Travel Talk is brought to you by AMA Waterways. From castles to capitals, discover Europe the way it was meant to be seen. By River, experience iconic destinations, immersive culture, and unforgettable moments, all in comfort and style. Whether you love history, food, or scenic beauty, there's a journey waiting for you. To set out on your own river cruise journey, contact Blue Planet Vacations at 888-718-7717 or blueplanetvacations.com.
Imagine watching the sun rise over Hawaii, sipping a tropical drink at an all-inclusive resort in Mexico, or wandering the charming streets of Europe. The best part? Your vacation can help pay for your next one. With Delta Vacations and Blue Planet Vacations, SkyMiles members earn miles on flights, earn medallion qualification dollars on vacation packages, and can earn up to 10,000 bonus miles on qualifying bookings. Wherever you're dreaming of next, let Blue Planet Vacations help you get there. Visit blueplanetvacations.com to start planning.
The Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show presented by blueplanetvacations.com contains travel deals, promotions, and offers that may be time sensitive. All offers and information were accurate when the show aired. Travel deals and offers change constantly and are capacity controlled and subject to change without notice.
Now, back to the Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show, presented by BluePlanetVacations.com. America's best travel advisors. Call or text the show right now. 801-649-3700. 801-649-3700. And check out the podcast at InsideTravelTalk.com. Here's Patrick Wiscombe and Mark Faldmo.
Welcome back to the Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show. Hello there, I'm Patrick Wiscombe, the vacation nerd, alongside Mark Faldmo, the owner of BluePlanetVacations.com. This is the segment of the show called Just Cruising segment that is only about cruise news. It's only about cruise vacations. There is no better sound than when you take off from port than to hear the ship horn. That just happens to be the ship horn of Norwegian's Aqua. And there is just something exciting about being on a big cruise ship as you pull out of port, sail away. You're up on whatever deck the sail away party is, and every ship has them. It is absolutely awesome. And you know that the vacation has officially started when you hear the horn. It is just an absolute blast when you get up there and just start dancing with your fellow passengers. And you have to remember, you're never going to see these people again. You might see them on the ship and they might go, hey, that guy was dancing weird. I would be that man. Elaine from Seinfeld comes to mind. The way I dance.
Yeah, I can see that. No.
It's not that bad. Let's get to the cruise news. Princess has opened up their 2028 Alaska season. We're not even done with 2026. I mean, it's coming to an end. They another 6-7 weeks, and then it'll be over, just like that.
The reason why we put it in is because that's when you get the best deals. You have the most options of cabins. If you're looking to go to Alaska on Princess in 2028, now is a great time to book. You can book with refundable deposits, have access to probably most of the ship as far as cabins go, and also usually it is the best price. So if you're looking for Alaska, now is the time to book.
You love Princess in Alaska.
I do. I think Princess is the best way to sail to Alaska.
And they have great itineraries as well.
They do, yeah. And their glacier permits that they have are better than any other cruise line, so they can do some things that most of the other cruise lines can't do.
Royal Caribbean is expanding their Asia Pacific adventures for the 2027-2028 season.
I think Royal Caribbean sees a big advantage to moving ships to Asia. The last few weeks we've probably had, and even today, we've talked about Asia a lot more than we've talked about Asia in the past because it is becoming that hot destination.
We've been doing this show for what, 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
This is the most we've ever talked about Japan. Not even close.
Yeah, so in the Asia Pacific area, Royal Caribbean will have 3 ships in Australia, and they'll have 3 to 8 night sailings on those. They'll have a ship from Brisbane, a ship from Sydney, and then one ship that'll kind of go between both of them. And then they'll have Voyager of the Seas, which will move in 2028 to Asia. It'll do Singapore, Hong Kong, and Tokyo in between. Again, it will also have 4 and 5 night options, which would be great to pair with another Asian land vacation. One thing in that Voyager season is it'll be right there, right in the middle of the Cherry Blossom Festival.
I've always wanted to
Japan.
do that.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. And then they will have the Navigator of the Seas for a full year in Singapore. So lots of options to get to that kind of Southeast Asia, Australia area on Royal Caribbean.
MSC Cruises has unveiled, this one surprised me. They have unveiled a Catalina Sugar Beach destination. So it's another island, basically, in the Dominican Republic. So this would be in addition to their Ocean Key. They haven't made any announcements about their Little Key, which is basically all the dredging that created the new Little Island, but there is construction going on. And then there was this one. So that's why I was like, whoa, they dropped another one on us.
Catalina Sugar Beach will be opening in November of 2026. It's an island off of La Romana in Dominican Republic. La Romana is actually a home port for one of their ships. So they have a ship that leaves from La Romana.
Oh, that's
and
right. I
does
forgot.
Caribbean cruises. It has a lot of Europeans that go on it, but you can get there for the North American market. But what's interesting about this is not a completely private island for MSC, because they've developed it in conjunction with the Casa del Campo Resort and Villas. And so there are some hotel guests that will have access to that beach area, but it'll also be available for Explorer Journeys. So both MSC Cruises and Explorer Journeys will visit that island, and then the guests of that hotel. This will be a little bit different than your typical private island, because they will actually operate lots of shore excursions like you would normally get from the cruise ship. So they have things that go to the mainland, and you'll get lots of different excursions rather than just the typical private island escape. And these private destinations are becoming more and more popular. So why not add another one in the Caribbean?
I know you've had some calls this week about cruising in the Western Caribbean. So let's define what Western Caribbean is. That would be Costa Maya, and I'm blanking on, I was going to say Costa Vida, but that's just because I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Costa Maya. What's the other places? I can't think of them.
Roatan.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I've had some calls that want to do kind of, we used to call it the exotic Western Caribbean.
Yeah.
So that go to Belize, Roatan. This particular caller wanted to go see some Mayan archaeological sites. So I immediately thought of this itinerary, 7-day Western Caribbean on Princess.
Oh.
That goes to Cozumel.
Cozumel, that was the other one.
Yeah. So Cozumel, Belize City, and Roatan, which is an island owned by Honduras. But when he mentioned Mayan ruins from Belize City as my favorite shore excursion probably ever, which goes to Lamanai, is the name of it, ruins. And so you get off the boat, you take a bus for about an hour, then you get on a speedboat for about an hour and go up to this Mayan ruin that is only accessible by going up this river. And so it kind of seems like the Jungle Cruise a little bit to me. And then you come to this beautiful Mayan archaeological site. You have lunch there, and then you head back the same way to the cruise ship. So one thing that I like about this is the price. So currently right now, Princess Cruises has 40% off the cruise fare, but you can get a balcony cabin. And this is for January 30th is the date that I looked. Balcony cabins start at $919 per person.
Whoa. Where does it go out of? Is it
it goes out of Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Okay. So you're going for a bit of a ride then.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a great option. And even Cozumel, if you wanted to do like Tulum, you can do a Tulum excursion, see some more Mayan archaeological sites.
How much was that again? Inside? Did you say inside cabin is $919?
Balcony cabin is $919. Inside cabin starts at $549.
Oh, get a balcony. If you can swing it financially, get a balcony, especially for that part of the world.
Yes. Yeah.
Should we call that the cruise deal of the week?
Let's call that the cruise deal of the week. Yeah.
Okay, there it is. Round trip Fort Lauderdale, Western Caribbean, balcony 919. Book it. Just go. I know we're on the air right now, but just call Mark in the office. He'll return your call. 888-718-7717, 888-718-7717, and he will also post this on blueplanetvacations.com. This is called This or That, European Vacation Edition, or at least that's the theme this week. So I'm going to give you 2 places to go. And we want our listeners to play along with us at home. See if you agree with us or disagree with us. You have 2 weeks exploring Italy or 2 weeks exploring Greece. Which one are you going to do?
I think I'm choosing Greece.
Really?
Because I've been to Italy several times.
Mm-hmm.
So Greece would have a lot of new destinations for me. And Greece would also involve probably some sort of cruise or ferry service, just interesting modes of travel to fully see Greece.
My choice would be Italy, but that's just because I haven't been there. So
Yeah.
I think I would choose Italy over Greece.
Yeah.
Question number 2. How are you going to see Europe? Are you going to go European river cruise, or are you going to do a Mediterranean ocean cruise?
That would depend on the ports for me.
Yeah.
But I would say a river cruise.
Yeah, me too. Question number 3. You're spending your European vacation visiting London, Paris, and Rome, or you want to go exploring small towns and the countryside. I think I would probably go big cities, London, Paris, and Rome, all 3. Absolutely, for me. You?
Yeah. I would do the small towns and countryside. I've been to those big cities several times, so looking for something new. But if you haven't been to Europe a whole lot, you definitely want to start with those bigger cities, London, Paris, Rome, and see all that they have to offer.
Question number 4. When are you going to Europe? Are you going during the summer with the long days and the warm weather? Or you're going to go to Europe during shoulder season with fewer crowds and cooler temperatures? I'm immediately voting for shoulder season with fewer crowds and cooler temperatures. That's my vote.
Yeah, I would do shoulder season by far. And you get a lot better prices too.
That's This or That, European Vacation Edition. Let's get to the final part of the show. Here is Mark's Vacation Tips and Tricks, is presented by Grizzly Tires, specifically for our listeners here in Utah. If you need tires or auto service you can trust, go to Grizzly Tire Alignment and Auto Service for top tire brands, alignments, oil changes, and more. Call them at 801-895-4749 or just go to grizzlytires.com. I think this was actually a question from one of our listeners, Julie. I usually check my luggage when I travel. However, what are the things I should never put in my checked bag? Well, there's a few things.
Our answer is try and always do just a carry-on.
Yeah.
But that isn't always possible.
Right. Sometimes toiletries is kind of the ceiling.
Yeah.
That you can't get around.
And so my rule is just imagine losing your suitcase for 24 to 48 hours. What would you need if your bag was lost?
Oh, good point.
Always keep medication with you. Keep your passport and travel documents, money, credit cards, valuables, electronics, and chargers. In fact, a lot of, like lithium batteries cannot be in checked bags, so they have to be in your carry-on.
Oh, that's right.
Keys. Also, try and always keep at least one change of clothes with you and basic toiletries. That sounds pretty typical. I think most people would say, yeah, that's what I do. But I'm amazed at how many people show up to trips when their bag is lost and they have nothing. Or they've checked their medication and we have to call the doctor and try and find a pharmacy and try and get medications to them.
Yep.
And so pack as if you're going to lose your bag, which probably won't happen, but still pack that you might be missing your bag for a day or two.
In fact, that might be one of the best tips you've ever given. Pretend like you don't have this and all you have is a carry-on. Put that stuff in there.
Yeah.
Julie, hope that answers the question. Before we take off, let's recap the cruise deal of the week. Mark, I'll leave that to you.
Yep. So that was a 7-day Western Caribbean cruise starting in January that visited some great Places to see Mayan archaeological sites. Princess Cruises balcony cabins start at $9.19. Inside cabins start at $5.49.
Take advantage of that offer. Go to the Caribbean. It is awesome. Nikki and I spend an entire month there on 4 back-to-back-to-back-to-back cruises with 2 days off. That's it. Call Mark in the office. 888-718-7717, 888-718-7717, and he'll also post all of this on blueplanetvacations.com. New episodes of this show are released every weekday on my website, thevacationnerd.co. It's not .com, it's .co. thevacationnerd.co, and weekly on Mark's site, InsideTravelTalk.com. And this show is available on all podcast platforms. Just do a search for Inside Travel Talk or The Vacation Nerd on your favorite podcast platform. Well, that's it. We are done. We've done our job. Now it's your turn to get out and see the world. Life is short. Book a trip. Quit talking about doing stuff. Just get out there and do it. And we'll help you get there. Mark will absolutely help you do that. Call Mark in the office, 888-718-7717. Alongside my good friend, Mark Faldmo, my name is Patrick Wiscombe, the Vacation Nerd. Thank you so much for listening. We truly appreciate you joining us for the show. We don't have a podcast or a business without you. Go make it a fantastic week. We'll talk to you next weekend.
That's it. That's the end of the show. You've been listening to the Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show with Patrick Wiscombe and Mark Faldmo, presented by BluePlanetVacations.com. Book your adventure right now. Call 888-718-7717. That's 888-718-7717. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.
This segment of Inside Travel Talk is sponsored by Star Clippers. For over 30 years, Star Clippers has offered unique, authentic tall ship sailing experiences featuring creative itineraries throughout the Mediterranean, Caribbean, and Central America. To book your unique Star Clipper sailing adventure, contact Blue Planet Vacations at 888-718-7717 or blueplanetvacations.com.